Welcome to another episode of the Fresh Blerd Air podcast. I am your host, Black Thanos, and I am joined by the one and only Lamar Smith. Welcome. Thank you for coming through today.
Not a problem, man. Thanks for the invite.
And I've been looking for uh, I've been looking for guests for a while because I've been I think like my last episode was last month, and I was going almost going the whole month of August with no guests.
Mm. Yeah, I didn't know. I just ran. We're in the same group, and I this is the first time I've ever seen your post about you needing guests, and I was like, all right, I ain't got nothing to do. Oh,
Because a friend of mine, she's in the same group, and she was telling me and everything. I was like, well, let me just go ahead and put it out there and see what happens. And then as soon as I put the post up there, the floodgates open.
yeah, man, you got to put it out there. You gotta put yourself out there.
Of course. All right, today we're going to speak on martial arts, art, and anime.
Okay, good combination of a topic.
Like all rolled up into one.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So you said you've been studying jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I've been studying jiu-jitsu for 6 years.
How did you end up getting doing that?
Um, yeah, it kind of found me as in a sense of a better words. I had a friend of mine's who he trains. I met him randomly at a GNC. He was like nursing his arm or whatever. Asked him about it. He told me about he was doing jujitsu, and I think it was like 2 weeks later. He invited me out to one of the affiliate schools and got my butt kicked. So I was like, yeah, I need to figure out what this sport's about. And
Hmm.
ever since then, man, I've been hooked.
And you've been doing it for 6 years.
6 years, yep.
Hey, what ranking are you right now?
I am currently a brown belt.
Like, how was I guess the ranking system?
Yeah, so it goes from white to blue, blue to purple, purple to brown, then brown to black.
Have you been in any, I guess, tournaments?
Um, yeah, I've done a couple. I've done a couple tournaments. I'm not that big of a competitor. Well, I yeah, I'm not really that big of a competitor. I kind of did it um, just to do it, just to do it. It's a whole nother beast when it comes to competing versus just training just as a hobby or anything like that. So I did do I did three tournaments. Yeah, I only did about three tournaments, but I got another one coming up in October probably, and I'm trying to compete a little bit more, probably like sometime like next year.
Hmm.
So
How does with you being in martial arts, does that play into like how you take care of like your art stuff and everything?
yeah, man. As a matter of fact, this sport or sport or martial art or journey or whatever, there's so many names for it. It's definitely creeped up into my everyday life, not just my art, but yeah, it's because it's therapeutic, man. It's one of those things where it's like I encourage everybody to try it because it is so therapeutic. It's very helpful for your mental. So being able to train like that to be able to keep my mind clear enough to
Hmm.
be able to focus on, painting or art or whatever else I'm trying to do.
How has you know from I guess from what I've seen, you do a lot of anime drawings, right?
Yeah, for the most part. The last piece I did was the Goku, the Master Roshi and Goku picture. But I usually kind of stick towards that. I would kind of show you something else where I can grab real quick. 1 second. I should have been more prepared, but yeah, I should have been more prepared for this. But I was like, how am I going to show all this stuff off? But I don't know if you can really see it, but this is a one I did of LeBron. I'm trying to get that glare out of it.
That's Kobe.
Yeah, I'm sorry, who did I say?
LeBron.
All right, let me correct that. I got a LeBron painting right here, like right
Hmm.
above my station. So that's what I was thinking about. So when I looked up, yeah, turn it this way. But yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
this is why I said LeBron, because I was looking right at the LeBron painting and I
Hmm.
had Kobe in my hand. So please excuse me for that. I do not
It's
want to get
okay.
burned by the snakes for my Kobe by the Kobe Nation. And 1 second. And then this is Batman when I did, or Michael Keaton, or Bruce Wayne. So many names you can give it.
That's cool.
But yeah. So this is just some. I got some other stuff hanging up, and I got stuff everywhere. So, but yeah, this is kind of what I love to do, man. I put my music on, zone out, and just try to and just dive into it, man. Paint all damn day.
How would you say, because like martial arts and anime are pretty much one and the same. Um, have you seen any of your, I guess, well, Jujitsu Kaisen, um, like different styles of how it's like incorporated with anime?
You referring more to like jujitsu or just martial arts in general?
Martial arts in general.
Now, repeat the question one more time so I can understand what you're trying to ask.
Okay. When it comes to, I guess, martial arts, let's say, I guess with Naruto, that's almost like ninjutsu.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like classify, I guess, Dragon Ball with their fighting style?
Um, Honestly, a lot of animes, I guess you want to say, especially now, I would just say if you want to give it, I guess you want to say a form, it would be more so like traditional martial arts, like karate, taekwondo, and stuff like that. Because there's not unless you count like Baki and I can't remember the one anime that's out now that's like more MMA slash grappling style fighting. But yeah, a lot of animes like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, even Jujutsu Kaisen is more so, like I said, focus on the striking aspect of martial arts.
Hmm.
Because when it comes to grappling like jujitsu, it's kind of hard to portray, so to speak, when it comes to anime because it's such a technical sport. So it's not flashy like I said, like you throwing a punch or a kick. Now, if you want to talk more so like movies, then you can start incorporating like jujitsu because you got uh John Wick, for example. You know,
Hmm.
Keanu Reeves, because he trains jujitsu. I think he's a Don't quote me on this, but last time I think he's like a blue belt or blue or purple belt. But yeah, a lot of the moves that he does, all his holds and throws and chokes and grab, arm locks and stuff, that's all jujitsu. So even in it was a small scene in Black Panther when T'Challa fought M'Baku for the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that little small sequence at the end, that was all jujitsu.
I did not.
So
I would not have thought of that.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So it's a lot, like I said, it's a lot technical than like you said, with striking. So it's really hard to convey in pictures of what jujitsu actually is, which I'm trying to figure out how to do so. I'm trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out how to do so because it's one of those avenues I want to kind of venture down of trying to make a jujitsu manga, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the part that I'm trying to like get through. Like, how do I convey this enough to make it seem interesting for normal people? Because like even when I go out to bars and stuff and I watch UFC fights, people around us, it's just like the barbaric side of it. So like they like the punches and kicks and people get knocked out, and as soon as someone get taken to the ground, everyone around us is just like, here we go with this. But me and my
Yeah.
table, we hype, like we know what's about to happen. We know what's going down. But everyone
Mm-hmm.
else think it's like it's not really fighting. So
Yeah, because if you were to say, you know, like, oh, I take martial art. Oh, what you do? You say jujitsu, and they look at you with a puzzled look because they don't. Some people don't understand what jujitsu is all about.
right, it's like, oh, is that like that karate stuff? No.
Yeah, that's like the first thing that they will go back to.
Yeah, I hear it a lot, man. I can't count how many times I've heard that. Like someone asks, like, "Oh yeah, you do that karate stuff, right?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't do the karate stuff."
Is
So
is far from karate.
far from it, far from it.
Is jujitsu more of a, I guess, almost like a mat based, or they mostly focus on grappling and submissions?
It's all three. If you want to say it's more like you want to say ground fighting, grappling, yeah, submissions, joint manipulation. So in jujitsu, which is the funny thing about jujitsu, real quick, is that the name means you know the easy way. You know, as the name implies, you think that when you see the name jujitsu and then you see the actions of it, it does not seem like it matches because this sport was designed for the smaller person to defend themselves against bigger, stronger people.
Hmm.
So a lot of our movements is based off of what your opponent does. So like if you're coming at me, I'm going to almost like Tai Chi a little bit, where that they're coming at you, so you're using that energy to redirect it. But that's the same like for ground fighting. If someone throws up an arm, I know how to attack it. If someone comes at me a certain way, I know how to defend myself. So it can get barbaric when you look at it, but when you go back and listen to the history of it, it's like that does not make sense. Like that does not make sense at all.
Right. Will that be something that will help you in I guess, a street fight?
Of course, of course. Um, I encourage everyone to to be able to defend themselves. But when we talk about I'm not gonna say like the ultimate form of self defense, but it's definitely has helped a lot of people in situations. If you just look up people doing jujitsu in the street, I can be able to subdue my opponent without doing any type of bodily harm to them.
Hmm.
I'm able to control someone, control their body, so that way I'm protected, they're protected. I don't have to worry about them reaching for anything or whatnot because in a street fight, the main thing people want to do is they want to stump, they want to kick, you want to slam, and everything like that. But I'm too old to be doing all that. So if I so if there ever becomes a situation where I get into a fight, like no, I'm just gonna subdue you or not engage you at all. But if I have to, I'm just gonna subdue you enough until either you calm down or the police comes or whatever. But
Hmm.
so it's definitely helps. It definitely helps to to know something.
Because there's a lot of, you know, getting back to martial arts and anime, even with video games, because there's always somebody that they're making into Bruce Lee,
Hmm.
like martial law, Fei Long, even
Yeah,
people from what's it, Dead or Alive. Everybody's a copy of Bruce Lee because he's the I guess the quote unquote end all be all.
yeah. He's the icon for that for martial arts, because that's what we grew up on. I know I did. I am a huge martial arts nerd, especially when it comes to movies. So you see those reiterations of Bruce Lee, like you got your Luke Kane, like you said, you got I think his name is Jin from Dead or Alive. You got
Hmm.
martial art, you got Forrest Law, you got Rock Lee, you got all these people that resembles him and resembles what he stood for in anime. So you're gonna get that. You're going to get a Bruce Lee in every anime. It's just how it is.
Even if it's a was it like almost like a side character or somebody standing in the background.
Yeah, so Bruce Lee will be represented some shape or form from what I've seen. It's almost like they always pay homage to him, which I understand.
How would he, I guess, match up to, I guess, some of the martial artists today?
I'm going to get probably ridiculed for this, but as much as a Bruce Lee fan that I was, I don't think he would be able to match the IQ of a lot of fighters today. Because yeah, he don't get me wrong, he understood the martial science behind it, but it evolved so much since his time. He'll be out. I mean, obviously he'll be outdated if you take him at his prime. Take someone as versed as Demetrius Johnson or someone of that caliber. Yeah, Bruce Lee will get mopped. Bruce Lee will definitely get mopped.
It's like everybody would say that, oh, like he's unbeatable. Like nobody's unbeatable.
No, he's definitely not unbeatable. Everyone can get beat. Everyone can get beat. But it's just when you have like the him being in the light that he's been in for so long, even now, he's almost like he got that like that Goku era about him. Like no one can beat Goku. Like no one can
Yeah.
beat Bruce Lee. But yeah, he can get beat. He can be beat.
Okay, let's get back to uh, your artist side.
Okay.
When you first started, what was your like inspiration of getting into art?
Um. Yeah. So when I was younger, my uncles, who they used to draw a lot as well. So I would see what they're doing and mimic what they would draw. And by that time, I think that's when anime first started to kick off. So we had like the Dragon Balls, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, all those. So being a fan of that stuff, that's all I drew. Like I still have a book somewhere around here from like you know grade school up. It's like about that thick of just different drawings of like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z characters
Hmm.
and whatnot. So that's where it really kind of like started from was anime. Yeah.
How was you able to, transfer that into a business?
I haven't figured that part out yet. I have not figured it out yet. But honestly, when it comes to art, as much as I love it, I would love for my art to get out there. I would love for the world to see what I'm capable of. But it's not like I'm doing this for fame or doing this for any type of notoriety. I just paint what I like to paint, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because for one, I don't have room to just paint everything as much as I would love to. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very selective on what I paint, and it just it's what I feel like in the moment. I do it. I do it because I love it. I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for, like I said, the notoriety. I just do it because it's always been a passion of mine that I do not want to let die.
How long does it usually take for you to, I guess, to do a painting?
Oh, on average, something of that size takes a while. I mean, it takes me a few days. Now, I can show you one more, which took me like the longest. 1 second. Now, this one took me quite the longest. I didn't even realize it until like I was going back through some old pictures. But this one
Mm-hmm.
here, this was kind of big. But this one took roughly about a year to
Oh,
finish
wow.
this. Yeah, it's a lot of, mainly because it was like a lot of detail in the head wrap
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But off and on, this one took me quite the longest to finish. So shout out to my girl Erica Badu.
That's cool.
But yeah, man, it's just yeah, it takes time, man. It takes quite a long time to be able to sit down and actually paint. Because with being working full time, being a father, being a husband, so I don't necessarily have ample time to like sit aside to paint. So when I do, I just go. I try to do a good 2, maybe 2, 3 hours a day if I can on a painting. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just in a perfect world if I have the time to do so.
Yeah, it's a lot of, especially it's like, just like I'm doing right now, um, on my lunch break doing this, like doing the interview and everything. Because it's hard for me to, with my schedule, it's hard for me to do what I need to do on the weekends.
Yeah, trust me, bro. I get it. Because I host a podcast too, which is ironically about jujitsu, Talk Your Jits podcast. And as a time of this recording, I think I've recorded 100 episodes. I think I'm at 100. I think I might be at 100 or somewhere close to it. But yeah, man, like just find a time to do it. Just trying to. I commend you being able to, you sit down, like you said on your lunch break to, talk about what you love, man. So I commend you, brother.
Shoot, I commend the whole group and you in general. I didn't think it was gonna go like that because I had like the whole floodgates open. Everybody started sending me messages like, "Yeah, I want to be on. I want to be on."
Yeah, it happens that way, man. Same thing with me. When I started getting stuff together for my podcast, I was like, okay, how am I gonna find guests? How am I gonna find guests? And I just made a post in a couple jujitsu groups and was like, I kept it simple. I was like, hey, anybody want to be on a jujitsu podcast? And 5 minutes later, I'm getting notifications. My phone is just blowing up of people like, yeah, man, I'll do it. I'll do it. From people who just starting, as people as white belts all the way up to like fifth degree black belts I've talked to.
Mm-hmm.
So just by putting it out there, man. Just by putting it out there.
At this point of the interview, we're gonna do 5 random questions.
Okay.
Favorite sport to watch?
My favorite sport to watch. I'm not gonna be cliche and say UFC because it is my favorite sport to watch. Um, but yeah, that will have to be it. But I love watching boxing. I love watching boxing. If I had to pick a favorite sport to watch, it would be boxing.
Cool. Favorite movie?
It's so many. I have, whoo, boy. If I had to pick my favorite movie, would have to be The Shawshank Redemption. Would be my favorite movie. Yeah,
That's
that's
a
I don't know.
classic.
That's my favorite movie of all time, man. Like I watch that movie every single time it comes on. Like A&E shows it probably like I don't know, maybe like 8 times a month. And, and every time I be flicking through it, I see it. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Let's sit back and watch this. So that's that. I don't know. That's just like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Favorite anime of all time by your standards?
Dragon Ball Z.
All
That's
right,
my
good. Yes,
all-time favorite.
good choice. Favorite martial artist and why?
Favorite martial artist would be I have ooh. Okay, if we're gonna say martial artist, I would have to say Michael Jai White. Now that guy is very, very underrated. Um, when you when you see a guy of his caliber and you like look at his martial arts history, and because he knows so many forms of martial arts, man, and he's still doing it strong today. And watching some of his interviews when he's breaking down, techniques of UFC fighters and people that he's trained, that dude's a beast. That dude is a beast. He's one of those people that's like you never seen him put on a full display because he's an actor. But
Hmm.
I know for a fact if he had to, really put it on somebody, it would be very, very bad.
Because he was doing a interview on Vlad TV, and they was talking about. He said that he could kill somebody, and then the Vlad was laughing, but he was dead serious. Like his whole face was serious. Like, yes, I can kill somebody.
Yeah. And that's the weird thing about that. That's the mentality that you kind of get once you know what you know, and you think like you just sit back like, yeah, I could kill somebody right now. And people like, yeah, like he said, like Vlad kind of like laughed it off, like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, no, I can.
Yeah.
He is dead serious. Dead serious.
What's your most prized piece of artwork that you have done?
Um, ooh, is it close by? Nope. It's no wait. Well, you can't see it, but it's a. I did a homage to Stan Lee. You know what? I'll grab it. You gonna have me pull everything off the wall. One second. Oh, if I can grab it, maybe. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So it's not one of like my, I guess, more technical pieces I've done,
Hmm.
but I've done this one as a, big homage to him. It was, pictures of every single comic book that he worked on. Well, not every single, but it's a lot. It's a lot from Spider-Man to X-Men, Fantastic Four, everybody. So this was like my appreciation to this guy who, shaped a lot of people's lives today. All the nerdy people of the world.
That is a good piece. That's a good piece right there.
Thank you. I don't think I have anything else to pull off. No, I got a couple more pieces to pull off the wall, but we're not doing that. I gotta put on this back.
It's all good. Before we got here, you wanna plug anything?
um, yeah, man. I appreciate you giving me the time to show my artwork, man. I usually don't get a chance to do that, so I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I think I want to plug is my podcast, Talk Your Jits podcast. I got close to like I said 100 episodes. I think probably like 80 something uploaded now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So you just type in Talk Your Jits podcast and it'll pop up. Um I made it. I geared it towards everybody, not even people. People who does not who train martial arts. Everyone gets a good insight on our lives because we talk about our lives, not just the martial science behind jiu-jitsu. We talk about everything from how it affected our lives personally, physically, emotionally, and everything else. So yeah, just get to listen to it, man. And like I said, shout out one more time to Black Thanos for putting himself out there, trying to get people on. And I appreciate you having me, brother.
Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on again.
Anytime, brother. Just shoot me a message, man. I'm here.
All right. This has been another episode of the Fresh Blerd Air podcast. I'm your host, Black Thanos, signing off.